kind of surprises me. So let's go to number 12 here. Free response. Okay, let's do it. So again, hopefully this one is a bit more straightforward. It should feel like something we could have been tested on during the year. Let f and g be functions given by f equals 1/4 plus that stuff, and g of x equals that stuff. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do these in two different colors just to see this a little bit easier. So this is f. So f for me is going to be blue. And then G will remain black. Okay. Let R be the shaded region. Okay. Okay, those look good. So find the area of R. Okay. By the way, this is a calculator question. Perfect. So we're going to find the area of region R. In order to find the area of region R, I think you guys would agree I need to do two things. One, I need to determine where these two functions intersect, because I'm going to be integrating from 0 to that point of intersection. So in order to do that, I'm going to take f of x and set it equal to g of x. And then I'm going to say f of x minus g of x equals 0. So on my graphing calculator, I can do it. I can either find the point of intersection, or I can take these two and find their zeros. Either way is going to work. I'm going to do it the way I've written it. So in other words, I'm going to, on my calculator, I'm going to make a brand new function, and that function is going to be this. And the reason I'm doing it this way instead of doing intersection is not all your calculators have the ability to intersect. And that way, this gives everybody the ability to go through and do this. So if you do this, this will work if you don't have an intersect button. So let me hopefully type this correctly. Uh-oh. There we go. How do I delete it? So I get, well, give me a second here. I'm almost there. I just got to find the intersection, so I'm almost there. Okay, so I got a couple roots, so I want this first point of intersection, so I got it at, and I'm going to write this down as A. So I got that point of intersection being 0.17. I'm going to write it all the way out as far as my calculator went. So 0.17821. I'll go 804. That's plenty. I'm also, just because I'm already on this graph, I'm going to go find this point of intersection. I'm assuming I'm going to need it. If I don't, then I don't. But it just will make, I can do a little bit less there if I do that. So it looks like it's, oh, is it really just 1? Oh, okay. So I'll put b equals 1. And those are the only 2 points of intersection I'm going to need. So let's keep on going here. So now it asks us to find the area of region R. So we're asked to find this stuff right here. So what I'm going to do is, in order to find the area of region R, I'm going to integrate the function from 0 to a of top curve. The top curve is g of x minus bottom curve, which is f of x. Okay? Now, let's actually go and do it. Let's go and do it just because I do want to show a couple things about this. So first off, I do want to remind you, you never need to plug this number in again. It is A, I can keep on using A. Yes, I'll need to plug into my calculator and things like that. But in terms of writing things down, I can leave it in terms of A. So I'm going to say this goes from 0 to A of g of x, which is minus g. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I see it. I flipped it. Let's do that correctly. So it's g of x, which is 4 minus, or 4 raised to that, minus f of x, which is this. Again, all of your calculators can do this. This is a definite integral. I keep on writing 5s and not pi's. Let me just finish doing what I'm doing here before I talk. Apparently, talking and writing aren't something I can do on a Friday with minimal coffee. Okay. So a couple things. First question was, since this is a calculator question, how much work do you need to show on the paper? And the answer is very little. Here's what you need to show. 1, that point of intersection. Okay? And again, I'm just going to use A. So 1, that point of intersection. 2, this line right here. And then 3, the number. That's it. Okay, those are the only 3 things that you need to show. And honestly, I probably, and I don't want, the only reason I'm not saying for sure, and I wouldn't do it just to be on the safe side, this probably right here is fine. And then you could evaluate. But just to be on the safe side, I might plug in the actual functions, though I honestly think they would give you credit for the green part, because that is what we're going to do. Those are what the functions equal. They probably give you credit, but to be safe, I'd do the red highlighted part. Okay? So from here, let's go plug in our values. Let's go and do this thing. And I know it's going to take me a minute, but probably gives you guys a good chance to, if you were having difficulty on your own, you should do it on your own too. But let's see what I can do. Okay, so I get, when I'm finished, and I should double check that I plugged everything in correctly. Let me double check that before I say anything. Yeah, I think it's correct. Okay, so when I was finished, now I want to remind you that we either truncate or round to the nearest third decimal, so there would be 2 acceptable answers. Our acceptable answers would be either 0.145 or 0.146. Okay? So in regards to things you would need to show, one more time, you need to show this, let's say this, and one of these. And that's it. Okay? In regards to letter A, do you have any follow-ups? Okay, let's go to B. I'm going to have to erase some stuff here. I need some room. Okay, B, find the area of S. So the nice thing about the area of S, very similar idea here. I think you guys would agree. And that is, I'm going to be going from from A, which is that long number, to B, which we said was 1. And this time it's going to be f of x minus g of x. And I'm going to leave plugging that into the calculator for you. Do remember, everything's got to go out to 3 decimals, unless they tell you otherwise. Let me just make sure. Why did they ask that question? That was really easy. I don't know why they asked that question. I just feel like that was really easy question. If you were able to do A, you should easily be able to do B. But it is what it is. Okay, in regards to letter B, are there any questions? Do note that point of intersection that I found, that A value, I don't have to keep on rewriting it and finding it over and over again. I found it once, I am using it throughout the rest of the problem, assuming I need it for the rest of the problem. I do not need to keep on finding it or rewriting it down. I've written it once, that's the only time I'll ever write it again. Okay, let's keep on going here. Last part. Find the volume of the solid generated when S is revolved about the horizontal line y equals -1. So let's do that. I'm going to erase a couple things here to clean this up so we can I can get a better picture of this. So, and I'm going to grab this graph and I'm going to move it. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Can I move it? Let's try that one more time. If not, I'll work. No, I can. There we go. Okay. So we want to find the volume of the solid generated by revolving S around, I think it was, y equals -1. So let's go and do that. So first off, I'm going to extend this line. And then I'm going to make the line y equals -1, which is, nope. Y equals -1 is right. Probably, I'm going to make a bet, and I will double check it. I'm betting this right here is y equals -1. So let's double check. Let's double check here. I'm pretty sure that's the value, because otherwise you have a really rough situation. But like I said, let's double check. So first off, I'm going to check this value right here by plugging 1 in for x. So, no, wait a minute. I think, let's double check. Now I'm not so positive. Oh, you're right. I'm wrong. I don't know why I said y equals 1. You're absolutely right. We need y equals -1. I don't know what I'm doing here. Absolutely. And that makes things a lot easier. Okay, good. You are right. I am wrong. Okay, here we are. Y equals -1 is down here. Perfect. That's going to make things a lot easier, because now I know they intersect. So let's see. We're going to take this and we're going to take this shape and we're going to wrap it around there. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to be using the disk method, right? I could do shell method, but I would need to rewrite things in terms of x, and for that sine function, that is going to be a gigantic mess. So I'm going to be using the disk/washer method here. Okay. Let's see what we need. So in order to do the disk/washer method, I need a couple things. I need to know, what is big R? Big R is the distance from here all the way to there. which is going to be equal to f of x minus a negative 1. Okay? And then little r is going to be the distance from the bottom curve to our axis of rotation, which is going to be, g of x, again, minus negative 1. Okay? Before I continue, in regards to my finding of capital R and little r, are there any questions? If not, let's go for it. Let's set our integral up. So this integral is this is pi times the integral of, let's see, we got here, big R squared, which was f of x. What is f of x here? Sorry. I'm going to grab this because I'm going to forget it. Nope, I'm not going to grab it. 1/4 plus sine pi 4x. So 1/4 plus sine of pi x. And we're going to take that and we're going to square it. And then from that, I'm going to subtract little r, which is 4 to the negative x plus 1. Oops, I forgot my plus 1. I see it. Squared. Let me fix that on the other one. And then we are going to be integrating this from a to 1. Let me double check that before I finish to make sure that is good. So that is big R squared. Big R is that plus that. Little r squared, which is that plus that. That looks good. We are good to go. From here, you're just going to plug it into your calculators, which again, I'm going to let you guys do because I take so long to do it on my own. Okay? Any follow-up on, what is that, letter C maybe? Okay, if there are no follow-ups, then I do want to remind you, I'm going to cut the live stream off in just a minute here, but I do want to remind you that, again, over this break, I'm not giving any new stuff. I will have the Google Classroom set up, so I would like you to join. I think it automatically joins for you. I don't know. I haven't used it before. But that's going to be where I'm going to be posting things along with Discord, okay? The school's going to be sending out a schedule and things like that, so you kind of know different things. There are going to be some changes just because of the way the school wants to do distance learning. So at this point, we've kind of gone through all the different types of problems. So what's probably going to end up happening more is that I'm going to be putting up more YouTube videos, doing less live streams, just because of the way the school's setting up things. But I will have opportunities for you guys to ask questions, kind of on an every other day type basis. But just recognize my streaming schedule is absolutely going to have to change just based on the way the school is telling me to do things. Okay, so I know there's some questions coming in. Please feel free to ask them. I may have plugged mine into the calculator incorrectly. If you're getting something that I did and you both are getting the exact same thing, make sure you're in radians. But if you did, I could have easily plugged something in incorrectly. That could be my fault. What you might want to do is double, so you can go to the, what's it called? You can look this one up on the year number, because I have that correlation, and you can double check your number versus theirs. Because I, again, easily could have plugged something in wrong. And if I did, I did. Okay? So double check with the official AP thing. Again, I have the correlation thing. You guys can see which, you guys can check it versus them. And like I said, one of us is, I easily could have messed up. And especially since two of you are getting a different answer, then it's probably me. Okay? Other questions that you have? Okay, last but not least, I do want to just reiterate again that you should go over to AP Board. AP Board has a lot of resources available to you guys, videos. I think they have practice tests and things like that. I do strongly suggest that you are looking at that. Of course, you do not have to. It is completely optional, but it sounds like it's a really good resource. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to wish you guys a really good spring break. Hope that you guys are safe and things like that. And it says, can you unlock the assignments on AP Classroom? I don't have any control of the AP Classroom. I think it's all based on your registration. So that has nothing. I have no interaction with AP Classroom other than just getting things from there, just like you guys do. Oh, one last thing. When I get the class, if you want it, I'm going to be putting this, when I get the Google Classroom set up, I am going to be putting up some resources on there. For example, I'm going to be putting up a practice test that was released by AP. It's kind of their multiple choice section. So if you want to, I'm normally not allowed to do that, but I can do it this time. So I will be posting that there if you want to use it. If you're like, hey, what can I do? I'm bored over the vacation, there will be some things available to you. So again, feel free to be checking those type of things, and feel free to, again, be emailing me. It's not like I'm going out anywhere. The only thing I'm doing is just setting things up. And there's a lot of work to do in order to set things up. But I don't mind answering email questions or things like that. Okay, so again, I wish you all a good break. Please be safe, and I will talk to you guys in about a week.